Hello, hello. Am I audible to all of you? Irrigation and method of irrigation. So this is the first class, irrigation, method of irrigation. In today's class, we are going to look into the introduction part. So what do you mean by irrigation engineering? So in irrigation, this is the artificial application of the water. This is the artificial application of water. So first we should understand the general understanding behind this irrigation. So why irrigation is required? Because plants require water and air for their survival. And we depend on the rainfall. We actually depend on the rainfall. But due to the climate change, nowadays, due to the climate change, there is uneven distribution of rainfall is happening. So due to what the farmers are not getting sufficient amount of water for their irrigation or to irrigate their command area, to irrigate their field. So in order to apply the water when there is a requirement by the farmer, we are artificially applying the water. How we are artificially applying the water? We are applying by designing some storage headwater, or we are designing by some canal, or we are diverting the river by constructing the weir and barrage to the off-taking canal. So by this method, we are artificially applying the irrigation water to the irrigation field. So irrigation is generally required when there is a less rainfall, when there is no rainfall. So this is the art of science by which it is accomplished. What means by which the growth of crop, the crop yield is happening by artificial application of the water. That is basically called as irrigation. Okay. So irrigation, if you want to understand the irrigation in detail, so we can understand by asking three questions. We can understand it by understanding three parts. The first one is how to apply, how we can apply the irrigation. So we can apply the irrigation means what are the various methods are there in irrigation engineering. There are basically different methods are there by which we can go for the irrigation engineering. So different methods like free flooding, water flooding, okay, and Many sprinkler irrigations and furrow irrigations. Nowadays we are going for the drip irrigation or sprinkling irrigation in order to avoid the seepage and evaporation loss. We are going for that one. So first question you need to ask how we can apply water for irrigation. What are the various methods for irrigation? Then second question you to ask how much we should apply because we cannot apply as much as we want the water we want many because there is some requirement. Every soil or every plant requires some amount of water. That we should understand. So that depend upon the moisture, soil moisture deficiency. Okay, how much deficiency is there in a soil moisture? Based upon that one, we can decide how much we can apply. This is the second question. How much we can apply. Third question is when to apply. When to apply means when the soil moisture level just fall up to optimal moisture content, or that means 50 to 60%, 50 to 60% of the moisture holding capacity of the soil, then we should apply the irrigation. Otherwise, we can say then we can go for the irrigation. Okay. So that is basically when to apply it. What is the frequency of irrigation? At what particular period we should go for the irrigation. So that is the basic behind this irrigation. Definition of the irrigation, if you understand, irrigation I told you, it is the science of artificial application of water to the land. It is the science of it is the science of artificial application of water to the land. And how much we can apply the water based upon the requirement of the crop. Different types of crop has different types of requirement. Means there are basically two crops, Kharif and Rabi. So what rice want 90 centimeter of water and sugar cane want a continuous supply of the water, perennial water. So based upon the requirement, we can go for the irrigation. What are the basic needs of the irrigation? So why actually irrigation is required? Because I already told you when there is a uneven distribution of the rainfall, when the rainfall amount is not adequate to meet the soil moisture efficiency, then we can go for the artificial application of the water by designing any canal, by designing some storage work dams where there is, then we can apply the water. So first is when there is an inadequate amount of rainfall. So this is inadequate amount of the rainfall. Okay. So second is when there is uneven distribution of rainfall means the amount of rainfall I can see due to the climate change, due to the deforestation, the huge rapid growth in our uh, country. So the amount of rainfall is not happening according to the demand. So when there is an uneven distribution of rainfall, then also we can go for the artificial application of the water that is called irrigation. Third need is to increase the crop yield. So the crop yield growth of the crop, to increase the growth of the crop, we should apply the water because plant only grow by means of application of the water. Fourth need is growing of perennial crops. Perennial crops means which wants continuous supply of the water throughout the period. Okay, like sugarcane. When you harvesting the sugarcane, when you are sowing the sugarcane in a particular field, there is continuous supply of water is required. So that type of crop you are if you are sowing, so there also require the continuous supply of the water. And rainfall is not happening continuously. So for that reason also we require irrigation. Fifth requirement is going for the multiple crops. Okay. If you are going for multiple crops like mixed cropping in a particular season, if you are growing more than one crop, okay, in a particular field, so there for that reason also we require artificial application of the water. Then to manage the drought and famine condition, means where the rainfall is not adequate, it cannot meet the soil moisture deficiency. When the area is uh, prone to this drought and famine condition, there also we require artificial application of water in that particular area. This is also the need of the irrigation. Then you must understand what are the basic advantage and disadvantage of irrigation. Okay. First, what are the advantages of irrigation? The advantages are there is two advantages. Direct advantage you will get out of the irrigation. There is indirect advantage. What are the direct advantage of irrigation? The direct advantage of irrigation to increase the food production. Okay, to increase the food production, to increase the crop yield, which continue require the continuous supply of the water. This is the basic thing today we are actually going to see. Second is protection against drought. Protection against drought means suppose the area where the water is not available for irrigation or for crop yield, then what we can there is some drought famine condition will arise. So in order to avoid such conditions, we have to supply continuous water to a particular field. So that is also second thing, protection against drought and famine condition. Third is revenue generation. Revenue generation means suppose you are harvesting or sowing any cash crop. Cash crop means from which we can get some revenue. We can generate some revenue. Okay. For that also we require some irrigation by designing any canal, by designing any storage and work. Fourth one is mixed cropping. Mixed cropping means if you are sowing two or more crop in a particular area or in a particular time, on same place, that is called mixed cropping. Okay, but practically mixed cropping actually we are avoiding by irrigation. Means what? Suppose in a particular field you sowing two crops, you decide suppose rainfall will adequate, then this crop will live, otherwise this crop will die. So in order to avoid such condition, so we are also going for the mixed cropping condition. What are the indirect advantages? Indirect advantages are power generation. Indirect advantages are first power generation. When you are designing a dam, storage network, for multi-purpose, for suppose Hirakud dam we have designed for irrigation, for water supply, for power generation. So that is also we are storing the water not only for irrigation, we can use that water for generation of the power also. Okay, so that is also indirect advantage of power generation. Transportation, suppose you are designing some canals, there also you can do navigation. You are designing any canal. The side of the canal, you can use the side of the canal because suppose this is the protection of the canal. Along this side, there is some footpath you can design because the local people can utilize this way for their navigation purpose. This is also the indirect advantage. And last one is employment generation. Suppose you are designing a dam or canal, so there must be some employment generation will come. The government will release some people or allocate some people for their maintenance for repairing. So ultimately employment also the indirect advantage of this one. Now to understand if there is some advantage, definitely there will be some disadvantage of the irrigation. What are the disadvantages of the irrigation? The disadvantage of irrigation first one is called waterlogging. Waterlogging is what? When you are supplying the water continuously to a particular field. So, suppose this is my field. So this is my field. And this is my groundwater table. This is my ground. If you are supplying continuous water to this field, then groundwater table will rise. This groundwater table will rise, and there will be a situation will come when this groundwater table will rise and it will come to this ground level. Okay. So what will happen? The water will log. Water will log. in this particular field. Ultimately, the plant will be ill-aerated. Ill-aerated means the plant root will be under, they will not get oxygen, the air circulation will stop. So ultimately, the plant will be die. The plant will be wilted. So that is called waterlogging. So another disadvantage of this one, suppose you are there is a land, and you are applying the fertilizer. You are applying the fertilizer for the growth, and you are applying irrigation. Whatever this fertilizer will mix with the irrigation water, and it will percolate through the pores of the soil, and finally it will join with the groundwater table. Finally join with groundwater table, so it will ultimately contaminating the groundwater quality. So that is also the disadvantage of the irrigation. And intense irrigation also, if you supply continuous supply, so what will the area will be cold and damp climate will happen. And some spreading causes bacteria or some insect will grow there, so which will cause the dengue and malaria. Okay. So now what are the type of the irrigation project? So basically there are irrigation projects are divided based upon the irrigation potential and the cost of the project. Later on I will explain this is called as cultivable command area. This one is called as cultivable cultivable command area. Cultivable command area. So the irrigation project has been classified based upon the two factors. First one is cultivable command area. The second one is called cost of the project. So major irrigation project divided into three types: major irrigation project, medium irrigation project, minor irrigation project. So that is small irrigation project. Major irrigation project means the cultivable command area is more than 10,000 hectares, and the cost of the project is 5 crore, more than 5 crore. In medium irrigation project, when the cultivable command area is in between 2,000 to 10,000 hectares, and the cost of the project is 0.25 to 5 crore. In small irrigation project is when the cultivable command area is less than 2,000 hectares, and the cost of the project will be 0.25 to 0.5 crore. These are the various types of the irrigation project. Now, what are the types of irrigation? We know the irrigation project. So, what are the types? So, we can apply, suppose this is my ground, so we can apply the water either to the surface or below the surface. Because supplying the water to be above the surface or above the ground, that is called surface irrigation. That is called surface irrigation. If you are supplying the water below the ground by means of artificially or naturally to the plant root, that is called subsurface irrigation. Subsurface irrigation. So irrigation it is classified into two types. First one is called surface irrigation. Second one is called subsurface irrigation. Now, what is surface irrigation? What is surface irrigation? So surface irrigation means, suppose this is my land. So this is my land. Surface irrigation, suppose this is my one land. Okay, and you store the water at some higher level. So this is my to design a storage network. Okay, design a storage network, and you lay some pipes, and you are supplying the water to the your plants. There, okay, the plants you are supplying the water to the plants. So this is a storage reservoir. Storage reservoir. So this water is generally flowing from a higher level to lower level by means of what? By means of gravity. By means of gravity. The water is flowing from higher reservoir level to lower point by means of the by means of force of gravity, that is called surface irrigation. Okay, so that is called surface irrigation. Or we can also supply the water to the surface of the this ground surface by means of lift irrigation, because the ground water table, suppose here is we can some arrangement we do mechanical arrangement, we can design some pump, so we can lift this water, we can store here, and we can supply this water to the plant surface. Surface irrigation generally is divided into two types. First one is called flow irrigation, second one is called is lift irrigation. So flow irrigation is for the irrigation which is generally done from the higher level to the lower level. This is my higher level and this is my lower level. So this is the water is flowing because of the gravity, that is called flow irrigation. Lift irrigation means suppose tube well or any mechanical arrangement you are doing there. So we are lifting this water. Either we are lifting the water from the river or we can lift the water from the groundwater table. Then that water we are using for the irrigation. That is called lift irrigation. And generally, lift irrigation cost is higher as compared to the flow irrigation project. Flow irrigation project generally less costlier as compared to the lift irrigation. So we can design wells, tube wells, or even pumps. So for the lift irrigation project. Again, this flow irrigation divided into perennial irrigation and flood irrigation. So perennial irrigation means when we are supplying a constant and continuous water to irrigation field, that is called perennial irrigation. When you are supplying a constant and continuous water for the growth of the crops, okay, that is called perennial irrigation. Okay, perennial irrigation means suppose you are sowing in a sugar cane which requires the water throughout its base period of crop period, then that kind of irrigation is called as perennial irrigation. So in this perennial irrigation, water supply through the canal distribution, okay, from a reservoir. Suppose this is my river. Okay, this is my river. So what we what is flowing in this direction? So we are designing in diversion headwater. So we are designing in the parades, and then we are actually storing the water at the upstream end of the river. Okay. So in here one off-taking canal we are taking. This is one off-taking canal. So what will happen? You are diverting the water from the river to this canal. So if you are not storing the water, directly you are diverting the water from the river to the canal, that is called as direct irrigation. That one is called as direct irrigation. Suppose you are designing a new structure which is store the water and later on based on the requirement you are diverting the water from the river to the canal, that is called storage irrigation. So in direct irrigation we are not storing the water, rather, we are directly supplying the water from the river to the canal. But in storage irrigation, we are storing the water like Hirakud dam. We are storing the water when there is a requirement. We are supplying the water. That is called storage irrigation. Next one is called flood irrigation. Flood irrigation means when the complete land is flooded with water. Complete land is flooded with water. Okay. So when we are actually perform this type of irrigation where the water level is very high. When there is water scarcity is not there. Okay, water sufficient amount is available. In that region, we are going for the flood irrigation. Generally, we will see the rice. Okay, rice, the entire area is flooded. Okay, the water will be stagnant on the surface. That kind of irrigation is called as flood irrigation. Sometimes this flood irrigation is also called as uncontrolled irrigation or it is called inundation irrigation. Uncontrolled irrigation or this is called as inundation irrigation. Next type of irrigation is called subsurface irrigation. So subsurface irrigation is what I told you. So this is my land, this is my crop. So what you are doing? If there is some canal is going on, this is my plant roots. Okay. So in this canal what happening? The water is seeping through this soil pores and the plant is extracting this water and utilizing this water for its growth. For its growth. That is called subsurface irrigation. If this plant roots naturally extracting the water and is utilizing for its growth, That is called natural soft surface irrigation. This is called natural soft surface irrigation. Artificial irrigation means what? We are laying some pipes. We are laying some pipes of very thin diameter, and in this pipe some perforated holes are there. Perforated holes. When this like these holes are there, okay, like these holes are the water is flowing, and through these holes the water is falling like a drop white, and this water directly falling onto to the plant root. So what we can avoid these losses. That the application efficiency of the water is increasing in the case of artificial soft surface irrigation. Okay, in artificial soft surface irrigation, we are designing some pipes and we are putting the pipe or placing the pipe below the surface. We are not actually wetting the surface here. We are letting this pipe below the surface and the water directly we are supplying to the plant roots. This kind of irrigation is called as artificial irrigation. This kind of artificial irrigation. Okay. So next we talk about what are the various methods of irrigation are there. So there are actually seven methods are there. Okay. Today we will talk about only free flowing. In next class we will talk about the other method. So first one is called as free floating. The first one is called as free floating. Free floating, or this is called an ordinary floating, or sometimes it is called uncontrolled floating also. Okay. So what will happen? You just see this figure. In this free floating, we are actually constructing a main ditch. This is called a main supply or main ditch. And from this main ditch, we will take some subsidiary ditch. We take some subsidiary ditch. This will ଗାତ କରିବା ହେଲା subsidiary ditch. And the water supply from this main ditch to the subsidiary ditch. Water supply from this main ditch, then it is diverted into the subsidiary ditch. In subsidiary ditch, we are constructing some outlets. We are constructing some small outlets. Okay. And through this outlet, we are supplying this water to the field. This is my field. Okay. So what is happening? Just remember, there is a main ditch. This is the plan. This is the plan I am showing. This is the main ditch. From main ditch, main supply ditch, we are supplying the water to the subsidiary ditch. Okay. This is the subsidiary ditch, and from subsidiary, small holes are there. Small holes. Okay, holes are that is called outlets. Through these outlets, the water is supplying to the field. Okay, that is the thing. In here, what is happening? We are not controlling the flow of water supply. Okay, we are not controlling the water supply. There is no the water is not distributed uniformly throughout the field. Okay, the water is not directly we are supplying the water. In here, what is happening? We are not leveling the ground also. Okay, so this is also you can see like this is generally preferred this seed product in a rolling land. Rolling land means like water is supplied. We are not leveling the surface of the land. The water is directly applying to this one. Okay, there is no control of the supply of the water. Okay, and this is there is no uniform distribution of the water. There is not the water is not distributed in the proper manner. Okay, and this free floating generally is prefer closed growing crops. Closed growing crops like rice, okay, bajra, mustard. So for this kind of crops, this kind of crop generally it is preferred. Okay, and where the land is very steep means the water is flowing. The land slope is the steep is what the water is flowing because of gravity. Okay, when there is a flow, water is very the land is very steep, water is very high velocity, and there is some rolling lands. Okay, so that type of land we can go for the free flooding procedure. We can go for the free flooding. So in next class we will talk about the border flooding. So you should understand small thing about you just see this figure. This is the plan one. So here same thing. Okay, this is one main ditch. Okay, main ditch will be there. So from this main ditch, what is happening? The water is supplied to the subsidiary ditch, and from subsidiary ditch there is some small outlets will be there. Small outlets will be there. Through this outlet, the water is supplying to this irrigation field. Water is supplying to the irrigation field. So what is the main ditch? Water is supplying in this main ditch, and here what is happening? One outlet will be there. Through this water outlet, the water is allowed to flow on this irrigation. So why it is called borrow irrigation? Actually, we are dividing the entire land to small strips, to small strips. And in the stream, we are actually suppose the water is flowing in this direction. Sorry, the water is flowing in this direction. We are leveling the each individual stream in this direction. In this direction, the leveling of the land is done, and in this direction, the water is flowing. So what is happening? Here we can have some control on the supply of the water. We are not actually going for the uncontrolled kind of flooding. Here we are actually like, watching or we have a control when the water is flowing and distributed uniformly throughout each stream, then we stop the outlet. So here the efficiency is increasing in the case of borrow flooding. Okay, so that is written here that each land area confined is divided into small streets. And what are the length of the streets? That the length is 10 to 20 meters and width is 100 to 400 meters. This width is 100 to 400 meters. So water is allowed to flow from supply ditch into each stream. The water is flowed slowly towards the lower end and infiltrated into the soil. Okay. So here the capacity of this main ditch, the capacity of the main ditch depends upon the infiltration capacity of the stream. With more infiltration capacity of the stream, then the water requirement in this main ditch will be increased. Okay, and this was the most popular method. This was the most popular method. But later on, we can do some investigation and we had some kind of better irrigation like sprinkler irrigation, trickling irrigation, or that is drip irrigation. So nowadays we are calling for this kind of irrigation in order to avoid the seepage and evaporation loss. Okay, so in next class we will understand what the relation of time for maximum area allocated in the case of border irrigation. So I hope this is the introduction class for today. So from next onwards, I will take continuous classes. So I hope you will enjoy this class. So you share this one if you want to find this PDF. You just WhatsApp me in this number. I will share this PDF to you. Okay. So thank you all. So have a good day. Thank you.